All right, boys and girls, this week's assignment, we are going to be building on what you guys did last week with your shapes with 1 point perspective. And so basically you're gonna be using this same idea, but now we're gonna be drawing something that, a picture of like a street that could exist in the real world. And so you need a piece of paper, you need a pencil, and you really need a ruler again for this one. So the first thing that I would have everybody do is maybe like halfway down your paper, it could be a little bit above halfway, is you wanna set your ruler horizontally across your paper. And you just wanna draw a horizontal line. And then right in the middle or somewhere close to the middle, you don't have to measure, you can just eyeball it. You wanna pick your vanishing point, okay? And then now we're gonna draw the two sides of the street. So I'm gonna take my ruler and I'm gonna angle it down kind of towards one corner, a little bit over it, and I'm gonna draw one side of the street, and then I'm gonna draw the other side of the street, okay? So I want you to think of this triangle as your street, okay? So you really drew a lot so far, right? We have the horizon line. So this is the line where the sky and the land meet. So think of this as like grass or like where buildings are gonna go. And then we also have our street that looks like it's vanishing back into space. So you are at this one point. This is your perspective or your viewpoint. And you're supposed to be like, it's like you're standing right here in the middle of the street, looking down the street. It's a really straight street and it is just going back into space until it disappears, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some buildings to it. So this is really similar to drawing those shapes that you drew around the vanishing point for the assignment last week. And so your assignment requires you to draw a minimum of 3 buildings. So if you drew a square or a rectangle for one of your shapes last week, this is essentially just like drawing a building. It's very, very similar. And so I'm gonna start off by drawing one of those buildings. And things that are down here are gonna be the part of our drawing that are closest to us. We'll call that the foreground. Things that are in the middle, things in the foreground are gonna be closest to us, so they're gonna appear much, much bigger. Things that are in the middle here are gonna appear a little bit smaller, and they're in the middle ground. And then things that are way in the background on this back layer of land out here, these are things in the background, and they're gonna be the smallest, okay? And so adjusting our sizing as we get further back is really what's gonna make this illusion of distance for this vanishing point in 1 point perspective really realistic, okay? Okay, so to start off drawing our buildings, you want to set your ruler vertically, line it up with the edge of the piece of paper, okay? And I'm gonna draw one building. You don't have to draw in the same exact spot, kind of in my foreground, so near the bottom of my piece of paper. So I'm gonna draw one side of the building, and I wanna go up pretty high. I'm gonna go up past the horizon line, and then I'm gonna move it over. And again, you want it to be horizontal. And now I'm gonna draw the other side of my building. Okay, so now I have the sides of my building. You might not really think it looks too much like a building just yet, but trust me, it definitely does. Okay, so now to draw the top of the building, we're gonna use our vanishing point. So I'm gonna set my ruler on the vanishing point, and I am going to, we can have it at any angle we want. I want the top of my building to be like up here. And so I'm just gonna draw, again, your vanishing point has to be on the edge of your piece of paper, or edge of your ruler, I'm sorry. And you wanna draw a line in between the two sides of that building. And then I'm just gonna connect it right there. And now I'm gonna erase the horizon line, that horizontal line that is just going in between the building, because like I wanna, have a building there. So you might be able to start seeing it, maybe not. Once we add on the side of it, you should be able to see it a lot better. And so the side of it is gonna be on my right side over here, and I wanna draw a horizontal line from the corner out. and that's really short. So I didn't use my ruler, but if you wanted to, you would just kind of eyeball having your ruler line up with the edge of your piece of paper, okay? Okay, so I have a building. It's basically a big rectangular block that is supposed to be bigger on the part that's closer to me and smaller on the part that's further away. All right, so let's draw another one. Okay, this one we're gonna put maybe like right here. So again, I'm gonna set my ruler down. We're gonna draw the sides of it, and I want my ruler to be positioned vertically. So I eyeball it with the side of my paper. So this is vertical, and now my ruler's vertical. And I want my, my building to start at the edge of the street. So I'm gonna take my line up, maybe to there. I'm gonna move my ruler back, staying vertical. And I'm gonna draw the other side of my building. Okay, so now I wanna draw the top of the building. Gotta use that vanishing point again. So I'm gonna line my ruler up with the vanishing point. And I only want to draw the line in between where the front side of my building is, which is right there. Okay, now I want to draw the side again. So for this one, I'm just going to have the side of it kind of go into this building. So I'm going to line my ruler up at the corner, and I want this side to be horizontal. I'm going to bring that line back. Now I'm going to erase the horizon line where it is inside the building. So hopefully you're starting to be able to see these buildings and how they look like they're getting further away from us. Okay, so let's draw another building. So because we need 3 buildings. Okay, so this one, I'm gonna draw it on the other side of the street. So I'm gonna set my ruler down vertical, start at the edge of your street, draw up, vertical line, move your ruler a little bit, make sure it's still vertical, make sure it's parallel, like railroad tracks with the edge of your piece of paper. Okay, you want to draw the top of the building, line your vanishing point up with wherever you want the top of the building to be, and draw that angle. That is really important. That is what makes the top of it look like it's, you know, or makes the sides of the building look like it's getting smaller as it goes into the distance. Okay, and then next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna draw the top of the building, and on this side that's facing us, so I'm gonna line the corner right here and up with the edge of my ruler, and I notice that my ruler is horizontal, so I'm gonna bring it over, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the bottom. So from here, now I'm going to draw the other side. This side is a vertical line. Okay. So at this point, now I want you to add details onto your building. So if you're going to draw windows, think about drawing like a bunch of lines out from your vanishing point, and your windows would fit in between there. Or a door. So the sides of the doors and the windows will be vertical, and the tops and bottoms of them will go on that line created by the vanishing point. So you only need to draw 5 details. And if you're really struggling with this, just do your best. So I'm going to erase some of those lines that just help me draw windows. Okay, and next thing I want you to do is to draw at least 2 objects. So I think one of the easiest things to draw in here is a tree. And so for example, if I draw a line out from my vanishing point, like up to here, if I draw a tree starting right here, it should be, I could make it like that high. So I'm gonna do that. So because I want it to appear like super big, because that will make it look like it's closer to us. Remember, because it's gonna go here in the foreground. So all I did was draw like a bumpy edged circle. Erase my horizon line in it. And there's my tree, there's one tree. And then I want to draw some other trees way off in the distance. And so those ones I'm going to have to make much smaller to make them appear like they are in fact farther away from us. All right, now we have some buildings, we have some windows, we have some objects, and now this part's not required, but if you want to make it look like it's a street that, you know, has like lines down the middle, we could even just start with a dotted line. So if you start with like rectangles, you can make the rectangles really big closest to you, and then really teeny tiny and close together the further away that they get. And then you can have them gradually change sizes, and that will increase the illusion. All right, maybe now you could add some details in your sky, maybe some clouds, maybe there is a car on your street or something like that, maybe a bridge. Okay, so now that the drawing is done, now we can color.